describe a critical moment in your life, over your life, that really defined your personal values?
One of my most fiercely held and strongly held values is fairness. I have sort of an allergic reaction to something that feels unfair, not just. And I think it started when I was 7 and my brother was 5. And we both got a new bike for Christmas. And I was like, wait a second, I didn't get a new bike until I was 7. He got a new bike when he was 5. That is not fair. And I have had a very strong sense of equity and fairness ever since. I really do believe that's where it started. Well, that was a tough year for me. And my parents.
Well, now we have to get, Benson, you got to tell us one of yours.
I'm not sure it's such a great event. I think I was probably influenced. I grew up in Aberdeen, so fishing, logging town. My dad owned a small office supply business, 7 employees.
I
so
have to
kind of
interrupt you, because you went to high school with Kurt, right?
Kurt Cobain, same high school class.
Okay.
Wow.
Who knew that? That's pretty cool. Okay, back to you.
And I think this, as Aberdeen went through its downswing, fishing, logging, being a small business owner obviously impacted the business. He played a key role in the community and trying to, how do you manage through that as a community? And just watching all that probably influenced me more than anything. Just kind of being involved in the community. And my career, I've been oriented towards that. At Washington Mutual, I had the chance to lead a lot of the community programs and saw we did a lot of good work there. And that's probably why I've been drawn to the cooperative structure and more purpose-based. Mm-hmm. And I think in the war for talent, I'm seeing more and more potential talent being interested in the purpose side of our, I'm getting lots of requests, probably like both of you, for speaking at college business classes, because people are interested in what's this business model, how's it different, do I want to be part of it? And I think that's a good thing for our type of organizations.
Yeah, well, Mark, do you have a story about a critical moment in time that defined your values?
The bike.
The bike one's tough to follow.
So salient.
What's that? I can tell, though, it's also the same is inherent in my family, as my children are also quite connected to the age at which things are delivered and what equity looks like in that piece. But I'd say my own personal values more probably just over time from development through my relationship with my father. I would say, he was a small businessman and grew up in Billings, Montana, and he just I felt like operated and held himself to a very high integrity standard. Was kind to people that he met every day. Was a strong member of his church and participated in it. And I think really for me, my personal values, I think, was a big part in shaping who I am personally. That's probably what I'd say.
Okay. I have to ask this. So you've been CEO for 12 months and 2 days. What's been the biggest learning? What's been the hardest learning?
Well, it's funny, the curiosity word, you asked the question, what's the word that I would choose? And I said curiosity, what was that, a few days ago, and then I had a happy hour with my team after being there for a year, and I went around the table and said sort of biggest positive surprise and biggest negative surprise. And the two sides of the coin were, how many questions I asked. Well, we're really excited about all the questions and the new thinking that you're bringing to the business, but man, you ask a lot of questions. And sometimes maybe it's a few too many questions. So we're impressed with your desire to learn. So maybe curiosity is as a plus or minus. But so that's been a learning, is kind of how do I get my team comfortable with my learning, my leadership style, my desire to engage. I think it's a change from the model that was in place previously, and I think it's coming along well. I think the other big surprise for me is probably unique to the industry. I've just been startled by the lack of data in oral health care and just data on, how do you measure quality, how do you connect activity to outcomes, how do you reward and compensate our providers for the work that they do. Really sparse data and few insights in that space, which has been a surprise to me.